Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would start a series. How ambitious am I? And this series is talking about brands, favourite brands in my makeup collection, maybe cosmetics, fragrance generally, as I go along. I think you know some of my favourite brands. I thought I'd begin by talking about perhaps a less well known one, which is Suqqu. I should say before I begin, this is just a few of my thoughts about the brand, bits and pieces I've learned about it, and the existing pieces in my collection, which I'm trying to slim down. So you're going to get much fuller descriptions with some of the more professional YouTubers out there. Again, I really recommend Alison Chase, a Canadian YouTuber and makeup artist, on this particular sort of topic, because she's done some really beautiful deep dives into brands like Chanel, for example, Dior, with lots of beautiful illustrations and discussions of the history. And I think she's probably far more well informed than I am. So, I definitely recommend her videos if you like this kind of thing. But it's been quite fun for me actually to kind of pull together the bits and pieces in my collection, think about the items that I've had in the past, and I don't think I've ever fully used up many items. A couple of nail polishes and powders, maybe. That's about it. I never, ever completely use up things before they go bad, or I get sick of them, and I either give them away or sell them or whatever. So, Suqqu. This brand, when I looked up, it's a Japanese brand, obviously. It's part of the Kanibo group in Japan, which is a big group, not the biggest, not the Shiseido group. Another brand that the same group is responsible for is RMK, which you may have seen or come across. I've had the odd product from RMK. I kind of feel they're more geared towards real kind of eco type branding, but a nice brand. But I've had far more from Suqqu. Suku's been going on for nearly 20 years now, 2003. But I only really became aware of the brand through another beauty YouTuber, blogger. Well, not a YouTuber, a blogger who, I don't think she blogs anymore now, from Germany, who was very fond of this brand, and she had difficulties getting hold of it at that time. And I used to get items for her from Selfridges and kind of became more into the brand as a result of that. It's the brand story. Suqqu. I don't speak Japanese, and I don't know a lot about the way the language functions, but I'm told that Suqqu is an idiophone, kind of meaning a figure rising to their full height, being the best they can be. That's actually quite a French concept, I always think. Maybe a global concept, I don't know. And the brand blurb on the website talks about renewal, radiance, grace from within, dignified and independent spirit, creating a glow from within. Again, nothing particularly earth-shattering about that. The brand as a whole definitely emphasizes good skin. They have a whole skincare range, which I've never really gotten into, although I do buy their cotton wool, their cotton sheets for makeup removal. They place quite a lot of emphasis on massage. They have their own technique. I would say the makeup products are quite subtle and quite adventurous in colour. The colour when I started buying Suqqu, and I haven't got any of those original palettes left in my collection was often quite transparent, more of a colour wash. And what I learnt from Sarah, who introduced me to the brand, was that unlike a lot of Western brands, where if you layer too much, you get a kind of muddy look, these really worked well together, and they definitely did. And I found that to be the remarkable thing about Suqqu. I would say that although that is still true to an extent, I think their colours are becoming more pigmented, and I think they're becoming more westernised in that sense. So we need to look at a few of the items that I've got. It's quite a discreet collection now, and most of my eye palettes are actually pretty new. What have I got? Let's try and marry up the different ones. So this is a palette 101. I'm not going to even try and read the name. This was from the Spring 2021 collection. And so you can see two warmish caramel browns. Quite pigmented. A really, really pretty silvery grey. That's what sold me on this palette. And I think you can see there what I love about the texture. It isn't too pigmented. It's really easy to work with if you don't like too bold colours. And then there's a topper in this one. It isn't the best of their toppers. I do like a white to use in the inner corner, but this is quite sheer. It's definitely really a topper. So I do use that palette quite a bit, and I love it. This one is, it's quite difficult, 03. Yeah, this also is Spring 2021. So only a couple of years old. This is a very much more kind of basic palette, can we say that? A nice brown satin, a caramel matte, a gold kind of slightly chromy satin, and the topper here is more pigmented, pretty kind of yellowy gold. It's a nice warm mid palette. I haven't found myself reaching for it quite as much recently, but still keeping it in the collection. And then 119. So this is from last year's pre-holiday collection, which I thought was lovely. It was all based on the kind of Aurora Borealis theme. So 22. I think I wanted both of the palettes, and this was the only one that I could get my hands on. I will say Suqqu remains difficult to get hold of in the UK. It's much better than it was. It used to be just Selfridges. Liberty now stocks it. I think Harrods does, and Cult Beauty online does. But the limited edition releases go really, really quickly. So again, we've got one of these gorgeous bluey greys, which is what sold this to me. Look at that, how pretty. A cool brown, almost matte, it isn't in fact. A very pretty lavender, and another white topper. I like this palette a lot too. And find it quite easy to work with. These are all very smooth. That's a lovely one if you kind of want to do a smoky eye, but you know, you have to be careful with smoking because of age and crepiness in my case, or whatever reason you don't like it too in your face. And then this final one is, I think this year's, 123. I've shown this quite recently from the Wallflower sunflower collection. How pretty is that? I'm still struggling to use this yellow. It's a really unusual colour, but these three, absolutely gorgeous. You can see this in a recent video that I did. So those are my palettes. They used to come in kind of slimmer trio palettes, very much in the kind of Japanese style, but they've revamped that in recent years. Now I've got a liquid blush. I've had a couple of years. I think you can see I've used quite a bit of it. It's a really, really bog standard, everyday, gorgeous product. I really like it. I've only got one lip product. I haven't bought that many lipsticks over the years from them. This is part of their Moisture Rich collection. You can see kind of very clear, reddy pink, rosy pink, really. Very nice and moisturising. I just have so many lipsticks from other brands. This was a free gift with something or other. I'm not sure it was even a Suqqu purchase. It might have been. And this is one of their primers. They have several primers. This is the Treatment Serum Primer. And I like it a lot. I would definitely consider buying a full-sized one when I finish this very decent size sample. I do kind of interchange my primers. It's very, it does what it says on the tube. You can feel it's a treatment. It's very moisturising. I do think it helps the longevity of your makeup. It's not the best primer I have in terms of concealing my enlarged pores. I prefer others over this one for that, but it's better than nothing. And I find with my blurring powders that I can kind of address the pore issue apart from primers, if you know what I mean. Then the only other products I've got are powder blushes, which I'm kind of steering away from a little bit now, because I think it's harder as we age. This one was part of the Aurora Borealis collection last holiday, and it looks kind of a bit dreary, really. It's not. I mean, I find mixing them together, you can see this colour, which looks a bit frightening, but it's actually a tone that works well. Plums work well on my skin colouring. It's very, very subtle unless you take a very dense brush, and then mixing it in with the lightening ones gives this lit from within glow without having to kind of layer highlighters on your blush. So I do like that. Perhaps you should use it a bit more. And then I've got two of their melting powder blushes, which are beautiful quality powder blushes. Unfortunately, they've now discontinued them. I don't know why. Reformulated. Perhaps they just couldn't get them, I guess. So if you see any, I mean, it's just so soft and finely milled. Gorgeous, gorgeous peachy colour there. Corally peach. As pigmented as you want, really. And they used to have about 7 of these in their permanent collection. You can kind of get the dribs and drabs in. I think Harrods has still got some on the website. I'm not sure about Cult Beauty. This colour I'm less keen on, but it's a nice summer colour as well. It's just the consistency of the powders was really special on that particular formula. So it's a shame that they've got rid of that. Their current powder blushes are fine, but I don't like them as much as that one that they previously had. So that's my kind of very curated Suqqu collection. I have had others in the past, and a little bit about the brand. I do think it's a nice brand to explore if you like elegant colour wash, interesting finishes. And And I will, I think, at some stage explore the skincare a bit more. I just haven't got round to that. The disadvantage, as I say, is primarily the difficulty getting hold of Suqqu in Europe and I believe in America as well. But it's getting easier in the UK. Though the popular pieces, the limited edition pieces, for example, there's a summer collection coming up soon, which I think is going to sell out. It's got some exciting looking, quite cool toned for a summer collection products. Um, you just can't get them. So yeah, let me know if you're enthusiastic for these themed videos, and if you're a fan of Suqqu, or have any tales to share about other Japanese brands. Apart from Shiseido, do use some of their skin, particularly their sun care, among my favourites. But apart from that, I have very little knowledge of luxury Japanese brands. But I've always been very impressed with the products that I've got from the ones that I've been familiar with. So I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, bye for now.